So as we all know right now, the world is all in chaos, or at least we're told. We have the coronavirus, we have an abundance of conspiracy theories, we have people that have too much time, we have people that don't have enough time. It's a crazy, crazy time. And I decided to use that crazy time to try to make some masks for coronavirus, or in fact any virus. Now, when making masks, there's three really important factors that you have to stick to if you want to be, decently successful in making them. Factor number one is the functionality, right? So the mask obviously has to work. Thing number two is how easy it is to make. So if your mask is very complicated or it takes a ton of time to produce, then it's not a really good mask. And number three is adaptability. How well it fits everyone's face. Not just my face, not just John Smith's face, but everybody's face, right? It's got to be able to fold and form around any kind of facial structure. So I decided to take on this challenge and try to 3D print some masks. Now, for the first mask I made, I found this random online model of someone's head, and I made this mask right here, version 1. Now, this mask isn't that bad. What I was trying to go with is making the contours flexible out of TPU, flexible filament, so that it can kind of flex around your face. The main problem though is, if I put it to my face, as you can see, it's basically made for like a 7-year-old, and it also takes like 7 hours to print, plus it's different parts, plus you gotta assemble it. So this one's basically trash. Got rid of that one. So realizing that old face wasn't going to work, I decided to use my own face. So I 3D scanned my face and I uploaded it to Fusion 360. If you take a look, it doesn't look that bad, It sort of looks like me. I don't look at myself in the mirror too much, so I can't even tell which parts are that much off from my real face. One thing that really stands out is probably the back of my head, which looks like I did the ice bucket challenge with a bucket of acid. And maybe this weird little bump by my chin, which I don't think I actually have. Aside from that, it's doable. And I started designing around it. So the first mask I designed around my face is this guy right here. Version 2 of creating masks. Now as you can see, it's already much bigger than version 1. And it actually kind of looks like an aviation mask. Now if I put this to my face, as you can tell, it fits a lot better. The main problem with this mask though is it takes 9 hours to print, which basically sucks. The other major issue with this is there's no way for it to stay on your face since I didn't add any strap attachers. So this one also sucks. So the next mask I made is version 3. Now this one's a little smaller. I added these strap attachments and I also added a gasket so that maybe it can suction around your face a little better, less air goes through. And if I attach it, as you can see, it works pretty well. So this mask isn't that bad, but it still takes 6 hours to print, and that's still too much time. I really want to make these masks printed really fast. I want to be able to print them in like 2-3 hours maximum. That way in 24 hours, instead of making like 2 or 3 masks, you can make like 4 or 5.
Here is version 4. I'm actually really excited about this one. There we go.
Now this guy is about 1 millimeter thick, meaning it's pretty flexible. The problem with it being 1 millimeter thick is it breaks super easy. As you can see, it's broken right now, and there's also holes in it. I don't know if you can see through the holes or not, especially by the nose right here. So it's also trash. It fits around my face nice, and it's very light, so it doesn't cause any kind of weight disturbances if that's something that bothers you. The other main difference is I added the threads on the inside. By doing this, you save on material and time, because instead of adding threads, it kind of just removes space that's not threads from the inside, if that makes sense. The other huge issue with this mask is I once again forgot the straps. For some odd reason, I just don't think keeping it attached to your face is important. So I remade it, this time with the straps. Same issue as before. It's too thin, breaks too easy. This one has holes too. At least you can hold on to your face while it lets all the coronavirus through it. So then I went on to make one more version. And that's where I landed with this guy right here. Now, this guy is probably the best I'm gonna get. It adapts to my face pretty well. I'd say it adapts the best out of all the others. Like I had issues with the previous mask, like say this one. With this one, when I try to talk, my jaw right here hits the bottom of it and I have to end up mumbling like this because I can't open my mouth. This one I can. So if you look, this one's a little more square than this one, and that allows my jaw to open up. But it doesn't really sacrifice suction. I'd say it's still pretty, attached to my face. It's not like I can't talk at all or like that a bunch of air is getting through. So this is a pretty successful, and the best part about this one is it only takes 3 hours to print. So I reprinted this guy one more time, and this time I reprinted it in PTAG, which makes it a little more flexible, and I added this gasket. Now, this gasket is definitely helpful. To test suction, I actually made these little caps. So the way this would actually work is you would take one of these, you'd screw it in here, you'd cut your filter out into a circle, place it on there, and then you would, take another one of these threads, and using the two threads, you would squeeze a circle in there, right? And that's how it'd stay in there. Whenever you think it's bad, you can change it out. And I try to make the spokes adjust or align as much as possible when it's fully tightened. But to fully test the suction of this mask, I made one of these that doesn't let air through at all. So if I attach this guy to here, and I'm going to put the mask on, and I'm just going to breathe in and see how well it stays on. So that wasn't too bad. So now I'm not going to breathe at all, and you're going to see what happens. So, obviously it's got a little bit of suction, the gasket helps, but the mask is solid. And that's the thing about 3D printing masks, and what I've noticed is they're solid masks, meaning it's still very difficult to align. Like, this is made for my face, designed around my face, and yet it's not that good, if I'm being honest. So if you take some other random person's face and you give them this mask, it's probably not going to work at all. Like, at all. They probably have a different nose, different chin, all of the above. So I realized that making solid masks isn't the best idea. Most masks aren't solid. That's just a fact. They have some kind of flexible material or fabric. So of course, knowing about flexible material and fabric, I made one more mask, or the same mask with different material. So I made this guy right here. Now, this is the same mask, except it's all in TPU, it's all in flexible filament, meaning I can do this, right? It's flexible, and it basically just sticks to my face. So if I do the same suction test with this one instead of that one, as you can see, it suctions pretty good. So some of you might be wondering, is it the mask that's that good, or am I just like a Dyson sucking so hard? A little bit of both, definitely, but this mask is flexible, so when I do breathe in or suck in, it does suction better. It's kind of like any kind of suction cup. If you guys are interested in checking these masks out, I've posted them on Thingiverse and GrabCAD. Check those out, they're in the link below. And if you enjoy this video, click those cool little buttons down in the bottom right. Thanks for watching.